Russo runs a break. Caldwell Pope goes to the wing here. James! Oh!
Trying to play at the defensive end. Got blown by back.
Oh, yes!
Hook jam!
Harden step back. Puts up the three. Got hit. Shot's good! And one!
This time here, set.
Oh! Russell Westbrook!
Next series I want to talk about is a game that's actually just finished before I just recorded this. It's the Rockets and Thunder series, which is also another series that's tied 2-2 now. Thunder taking the last two games on their home court. You want to call it their home court because there's really no home court advantage in the playoffs. Behind Dennis Schroeder's 28 points. Chris Paul played pretty well as well. But that's with Schroeder contributing 28 points off the bench. It just goes to show like the Thunder's ability to play, because that's something they've been using throughout the whole entire season. Is just their guard play with Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous, and Dennis Schroeder, who's been playing even better off the bench this season compared to last season when he was coming behind Russell Westbrook. I don't know who to point that blame to or what. Maybe it's because Chris Paul's leadership, but whatever. The Thunder in the first game, however, they were shook because the Rockets kind of changed up their defensive system and started playing a zone-type defense, and they still continue to play that. I was watching that in the game just now against the Thunder. Because the Thunder, if you watch them play a little bit, they kind of try to play like a Rockets, not as much, but they, at least from what I noticed from like game one, they was trying to put up a lot of three-point shots, but it just wasn't hitting. And with the Rockets defense, with them being able to switch on everything and playing that zone-type defense, it was effective and it was working for them. And they got a very convincing win off the Thunder at first game. The second game, however, it was very close. The Rockets wasn't able to shoot as many threes, or make as many threes, I should say, in game two. They struggled shooting, but they still found ways to win. As I watched some games throughout the series, they've been getting to the basket a lot of penetration, because with that 5-out offense they got, they would pull Steven Adams out the paint, which is their interior defender. And with Steven Adams not inside the paint, it allowed for players like Eric Gordon, who's been playing well, averaging 18 points this series, to go attack the paint. He was doing that a lot in game one, too. Jeff Green, who's been playing very well as well, he's averaging 19.7 as the second highest scorer on that team, behind James Harden's 32 points he's putting up this series. So they've been attacking the paint a lot more often. So that was why they was able to still come out with the win in game two. But game three and game four, it's been close ones, but the Thunder has been able to pull it out. I know in game three, in clutch time, Chris Paul, behind his great leadership, he did a clutch shot from the side. I just like how he pulled it up too. Like he shot it like this from the side like that. Great range, great little arc behind the shot. And then he also kicked it out to Shai Gilgeous for a cool, calm, and collected three in the corner. That shot was in the fourth quarter. The shot that Chris Paul hit himself was an OT to solidify the win. It was a very good, like I said, this is a very good, interesting series, considering the storyline going behind it as well. I mean, this is literally the team that Chris Paul was used to play for last season and got traded to. And many thought that going into the season, there's like an image floating around online still from like the very first game of the season where their playoff chances was like 0.2 something percent of them making to the playoffs, and now they are in the playoffs as the 50. And it's crazy when you think about that, because looking on paper, you wouldn't think this team was going to be able to make it to the playoffs, but they still have some good pieces. They still have Steven Adams. And drink some water. Gallinari, they gained from the trade that they did for Paul George. Shai Gilgeous was a good piece, who's been playing very well. Schroeder is still there. And Chris Paul, of course. Many thought he was going to just go off and not be able to do anything this season, but he's proven many, including myself, wrong. And he's continuing to do that now and into the playoffs, still giving the Rockets, his former team, the business, as you want to call it. And even, that's why I say also between, the storyline that's going on between these two teams, even before the game that just took place, there was some yapping going on between Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams, which to me was very interesting, because these two have always been the great friends on the team. But as it goes to show you Russell's character, his very competitive nature, that if you're not on his team, you don't care who you are. But I mean, hopefully we'll see how it turns out after this. That there's nothing like no real rift between the two. I don't think it really is. It's just competitive nature going on between the two teams talking. Another thing I noticed in this past game as the Thunder beat the Rockets, the Rockets set the NBA record for 58 3-pointers attempted in this game. Now I think if I heard correctly, they held the previous record, which I didn't pull up before this because the game just ended. They held the previous record before, and another thing I want to propose is could we possibly see them break this record again as the playoffs continue? Because as we see, D'Antoni has doubled down on this offensive system of 5-out, small ball, shoot as many threes as possible, and it has proven to work. The team is playing well, and you got to keep in mind too, Russell Westbrook is not playing right now, so the team is you can say it's thriving. I mean, granted it's had 2 losses back to back, and we'll see how the series plays out even more. But they playing efficient. They're still playing very well. Besides that game 2 loss where they didn't shoot very well from the field. When Russell comes back, who they got into him that he doesn't have to shoot as many threes, which helps them too. He can attack the paint. Like I said, that's what Eric Gordon was doing and Jeff Green was doing as this series been going on. So they'll probably even break this record as a playoff go on. Who's to say? I think they will. We'll probably see it next series if they face the Lakers or Portland. We'll talk about that. And even if they get past them, we'll see that in the Western Conference Finals. And they're not going to the finals. I can't see that. I can't see that happening. The Thunder did do a better job on defense this game, I will say. Especially in the crunch time, I could tell. There was one shot that James Harden he put up instantly because the team was down by 5 points. They was down by 5 points with 15 seconds left to go. And it was less than 2 seconds. Inbounds the ball to James Harden right there in front of the inbounder. Left corner, not the corner, left wing 3. Instant 3, but it was already 2 defenders on top of him. And at that point, this is better offense just beating good defense. But the Thunder did do a better job of guarding the team this time around. In terms of interior, yes, that's why I think they did a better job at it. Because like I said, the Rockets was just opening up the floodgates by playing that 5-out system, but still being able to attack the paint and cut in between the players. So Thunder did a good job with that. I think they need to do that going forward if they want to find a way to win this series, which I don't have them win this series. I have the Rockets win this series. I actually have the Rockets win this at 5. But as we stand right now, the series tied 2-2, Rockets in 6.